Can you imagine being forced to pay taxes to the government just because you're a woman? It happened in our home country, India. And stay with me till the end to find out because I unfold the whole story about when, where, and how. Mollakaram, a tax that the lower caste women from Kerala had to pay to the local king's officials if they wished to cover their breasts in public. At that time in the 19th century, covering the upper body was a privilege that only the upper caste wanted to have, and to make a clear distinction between the upper caste and the lower caste, they imposed this Mullakaram, the breast tax. So notice how they didn't target men to create this distinction. They targeted women. Because who is more easier to control? Women or men? And what is the easiest way to control an entire community? By controlling the women of that community. And so they did that. And now it'll get interesting. In 1813, a woman named Nangeli from the Ezhava community in the Alappuzha district of Kerala refused to pay the Mullakaram. What happens next will blow your mind. Nangeli started covering her upper body, and obviously she was not going to go unnoticed. The king's officials noticed her, and they ran to her doorstep. They knocked her door, and she came out wearing clothes on her upper body, and they demanded her the tax. She said no, and they were about to assault her. Before they could do that, she took a knife from her kitchen. She cut off her breasts and presented them on a banana leaf at her doorstep. And that was her tax. And shortly after that, she bled to death. Her husband, devastated, couldn't live his life. On the day of her funeral, he jumped into her funeral pyre. The first known instance of a man committing sati. Her sacrifice created shockwaves, soon after which, in the state of Kerala, Mullakaram was finally abolished. The place where she lived is still known as Mulachi Parambu. So what do we learn from all this? That throughout history, people have always tried to control women. And only when something as extreme as a sacrifice or a tragic incident takes place, do they stop. Why should it have to reach this point? Why do you want to control women all the time? Why can't you just live and let live? Stop controlling women. And to all the women out there, raise your voice at the slightest inconvenience, because you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for all of us. Never ever hand over the ownership of your body or the way you dress to anyone. And of course, there's always a right time and a right place for every attire. But at the end of the day, the choice should always be yours and yours alone. Nangeli's body may have broken, but her spirit and her soul became immortal. And through her, we remember that our dignity is not up for negotiation. See you in another video. Bye bye.